Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 with Millennium Dawn mod, Crane and me, Alpha by Omega. So in the last episode we have laid the basics of the game, some of our goals, and today we are going to start the playthrough. Now, I have done a couple of things off the camera, so I'm going to show you right now. I also went through some of the statistics again and checked some of my notes that I did before. Because, it's still a hit or miss for me. I never did this kind of playthrough in the Millennium Dawn, so I'm hoping not to, miss anything. It's basically in the name. Anyway, what I did, I have gone through the armies and I split them into 2 army groups and 4 armies. We have Army Group West, which is comprising the 1st army, located in the west of the country, and the 2nd army, which is in the central area. We also have the Army Group East, which is separated into 3rd Army, which is sort of a coastal army located in the southern areas of the country, near Odessa and Mykolaiv. And then the 4th Army, which is located in Kharkiv, Dnipro, Luhansk, and Donetsk, and Zaporozhye in the, eastern areas of the country. Now, look at the generals. They don't have any major traits. Some of them are there, some maximum entrenchment planning, some offensive doctrine, but I basically chose the best for the job. We're gonna have to see how they're gonna fare. Now, as our armies are fairly diverse, I have to reiterate again that we're going to have to do a proper military reform down the line. Now, Ukraine has a fairly competent army, which they're showing right now during the combat, but they were sort of praised even before. A lot of money and training went to it, especially after the separatist separatist republics formed with the backing of Russia. So there was constant fighting and they had to evolve and find their footing. So I'm hoping to model that in the game as well. You can see that there's a lot of templates here. That's actually one thing that I really like about the game. They have tons and tons of options for you to create your own army and focus on what seems to work for you. So, yeah, we're going to look into that. But down the line, now in the year 2000, we have other bigger fish to fry. So, we're not going to produce anything. I'll let the game recalculate it once we start it and see what material we missed. Now, I expect pretty much everything. But again, we'll see. Now, as far as research goes, we're going to focus purely on electronics and industrial technology in the beginning. Now, with electronics, I want to boost my research speed because you can see that these times, they're pretty high. 474 days for one technology is a lot. So we're going to start with the microprocessors. The microprocessors incorporate functions of one or many integrated circuits to build a stronger computer processor. The processor's advent allowed for computing to become significantly more affordable for the common folk. So that's one thing. Actually, what was before? Basic computing, integrated circuitry, and then mainframe, then the microprocessor and microcomputing, then improved computing, advanced computing, 2015, modern computing, and 2030, quantum computing. Okay. And for the other technologies that we can get, we're going to start with the construction because, as I mentioned, we need to up our economy and every boost in that will help us. Improved methods and materials allow us to construct buildings, both civilian and military, faster. Here you go, guys. And we're also going to go with artificial intelligence. Now that might be a bit weird, but hear me out. The artificial intelligence is somewhere down here. Nanorobotics, human imitation AI, and stuff like that. But this is the basis of it. Neural network revival. Neural networking has been around since the later 19th century as a theory of utilizing the brain's processing power to enhance humanity. We should revive this idea in order to better our computers and our quest for artificial intelligence. So it gives a research boost, which is why I'm doing this, and production efficiency cap boost. I was considering going with the oil, just to be clear, but we should be doing fine. We have quite a lot of... Where is it? It's at the trade, right? Oh yeah, I mean, I'm there. Sorry. We have a lot of extraction potential. We have 11... Oh, it's not oil, it's petroleum. We got 4 in Siberia and 6 in Galicia, Volnia. Actually, can we see that? I can see that on the infrastructure scene. Okay, so here and here. Cool. Far from Russia. Far from Russia. So they might stay. And I know that down the line, somewhere in the national focuses, we have Naftogaz, which gives us additional 3 in Donbass and 1 in Galicia, Volnia. Okay. And Ukrtat Nafta gives us fuel refineries. Actually, 1 and 1 strategic fuel reserve. Okay. Not sure if there's anything else here, but fine. So as far as resources go, we are good. As far as civilian factories go, we're going to go with the civilian industry first. We can change this plan later on, but we need to fill our factories limits so that we get... Actually, is that filled? Yeah. So we need 4 factories so that we can up our GDP to the next one. Once that is done, we'll be happy. Yeah, so at 4,000, we're going to get less monthly population, but more stability, more industries in a state, more research speed, but more military wages. Okay, gotcha. Now, as far as the focuses go, there's a couple of things we can do here. There's Ukrainian industrialization. There's Ministry of Infrastructure, and there's the People's Referendum. Now, it's kind of a mixed bag here, because I would like to get the Ukrainian industrialization, but that removes 20 billion from our treasury, and we don't have that. We have 2, and we're gonna fall in debt, as I mentioned before. I'm pretty sure about it. Plus, these extra factories that we can get would also come with building slots, so they do not help to up our economy, they just expand it. And that's not exactly what we need right now, so it can wait. The Ministry of Infrastructure actually gives us infrastructure projects, which is good. It gives us some political power and so on, which is also good. But they all cost money. So first needs to come stabilization, which means stability needs to be upped. And while the EU policies are kind of a nice idea, they, in my opinion, will walk us just to the first one, right? Yeah, we would need to become a member of the EU. I don't think there's... Yeah, we can just pass the EU laws, but that's all there is to it. So we pretty much have only one choice, and that's the People's Referendum. The People's Referendum. The country is at a stalemate. We are unable to come to a consensus in the government about how we should reform our constitution. It is time to take the question to the streets of Ukraine and receive the people's input. So let's do that, as it's the only viable choice anyway. Now, as far as the mechanics go, I know that I skipped over the EU one, but there's a couple of interesting points here. First, Euroscepticism is 0% in our country, which is good, and Europeanism is 85.7%. Europeanism is also known as pro-Europeanism, sometimes called European Unionism, political position that favors European integration and membership of the European Union, EU. It includes the more radical European federalists who seek to create a single separate superstate known informally as the United States of Europe. A related term is Europhile. The ratio represents the Europhile people through the whole Union. Oh, through the whole Union, so that's not just the European Union, that's everyone. Okay, and that is the breach of values of the European Union 0. I'm not sure if this applies only to us, but to everyone. Huh. Euroscepticism, breach of the... Oh, okay, so it applies to everyone. You can see the breach of EU values here. Okay, So that's not just us. I thought that would be just us, but nope. Okay, so it's still pretty good. Still pretty good. So what else do we have? Oh, the Free Dockyard. I haven't spoken about the other branches of the army yet. Now, we got the army. I spoke about that, but I also dealt with the Navy and the Air Force. Now, the Air Force all started in the stockpile, so I deployed them everywhere, and I created 5 major airports. I don't even know, do we have any more? I think, yeah, we do have one more here in Sloboda, Ukraine. It's actually an interesting name. This one is not ours, right? Yeah. Okay, so we have one more that I didn't use. Now, I separated it in the following manner. We have some interceptors and some aircraft in the very east and the very west, or very west, very east. But the most of them are near Kiev, where we have most of the air superior, the fighters. We get some transports here, some bombers, and so on. We also have some here in Dnipro as well, and most of our training and lighter aircraft are down in Crimea. So yeah, you can see the White Strike aircraft here, the Aero L-29 Delphin, which are actually of Czech origin, which is kind of interesting. I have a bit of, I don't want to say like complaint, and I'm nowhere near like the best in knowing a lot about military, but it seems like the statistics of the L-29 are very high compared to the others. Air defense 82, air attack 23, because these are subsonic. They cannot go supersonic. So compared to these, okay, so this one, Su-33, is a much better one. Okay, got it. But yeah, I was expecting these to be much weaker. Anyway, to the navies, we actually got only 2 navies. We got one that has a single frigate hull and one that has 10 corvettes. While I'm not gonna, be mad about that, I was expecting to have a bit more to work with. Well, I have no actual plans for this, but still, it would be kind of interesting to see a bit more. So let's put you here, and let's put you here. Now, as you can have maximum of 10 navies, we will be fine, but I guess we should build another frigate. So let's build, do we have more than, it's a helicopter carrier. Yeah, we have only one frigate, Krivak class, which I believe is this one as well, right? Yeah, Krivak class. So we're gonna build another one. How long is it gonna take? 2 years nearly. Okay, but that's fine. Like, I mean, we don't really want any maritime supremacy, if I'm quite honest. Okay, so we're missing some equipment. We know about that. No divisions in basic training. That's not gonna change in a while. Decisions available. We're gonna go through that one more time after I start the game, but I think we're ready to unpause. So let's let the game have a small hiccup here and see how our things are recalculated. Okay, so we're already falling into debt. We're losing about 0.03 billion per day. Okay, gotcha. So we'll need to increase the tax rate as soon as possible. Now we're working on the referendum. Let's see what we're missing here. Yes, we're way more. Airborne APCs, command equipment, manpads, anti-tank, small arms and utility vehicles. So, Airborne, it's kind of an interesting name. Airborne armored personnel vehicles, or carriers, to be precise. Small arms, what else was there? Manpads and CNC. So, command and control equipment. Manpads, surface-to-air missiles. Okay, and... Okay, anti-tank guns. So anti-tank missiles, or anti-tank guided missiles, and mounted anti-tank guided missiles, and utility vehicles, which I believe are the 1965. Those are terrible. Actually, the Zils are very old Soviet cars, which I heard insane things about. Things like they can chug 100 liters of fuel to 100 kilometers. Insane, but they were built to last. And proper Soviet engineering in all meanings of that. So the only thing that we're not actually producing is a close air support. That's interesting. We miss... yeah, close air support. Where actually are we lacking those? I'm not aware of... here you are. You're not supposed to want that. You're supposed to be happy with the 21 you got. That should remove it. Oh! Russia just got the Treaty of Grozny, which ended the Chechnya conflict. Interesting. So, Russia is no longer in war. I think that their focus tree is... actually, it's smaller than ours because they can get into EU. But that's a bit of cheating on our side. Yeah, Grozny offensive. So that's what they got. Then there's the 2000 elections, which decide the fate of the state, pretty much. I spoke at length with my girlfriend about these candidates. She remembers the elections quite in a lot of details. And based on what the game will choose for Russia, different things are going to happen. So I'm interested in seeing what's going to be there. Now, the current president is Vladimir Putin, but that can change down the line. So let's see. Let's see what's going to happen there. Okay, we have insufficient resources. We're missing technology medals. Somali National Alliance took one state. Somalia. Yeah, Somalia is in conflict. Mogadishu. Somali National Alliance. Damn. Somalia is in war, which is quite historical. So anyway, we're missing one technological metal, but I don't think that's going to be an issue, and I'm going to tell you why. Yeah, we have such low production that our production efficiency is actually 0. Due to stability minus 25.1, 16% is rampant corruption, and yeah, we're getting only 35 as a boost. So we do produce a bit, but it's dropping to 0 every other day. So not having the medals is not a big issue. So popularity of the government is 23.4%. This represents a minus 0.1 difference from the last election. Okay, gotcha. Coalition. Leonid Kuchma and oligarchs has formed a governing coalition together with... okay, that's gonna update, I think, as well. We'll need to... how long are we gonna last? A month, 2, 3, 4 months before we have to increase the debt. We don't have such a high interest rate, but that can change, so I really need to focus on that. We really need to focus on that. So I'm going to speed the game a bit up. And let's see what we have here. Anything that we can do. There's the recognitions, there's cyber warfare. Joining the EU. What is this? Ukraine can join the EU Ukraine can join... wait, what? Let's sing Order to Joy. Prerequisites. Level of breach of EU values is lower than 3. Okay. We are an EU candidate and at peace. Okay, so we need to become a EU candidate if we want to become a member of the EU. And how the hell do you become an EU candidate? By doing this. Ukraine must have above 25 influence. Above 25 influence on European Union leader of foreign policy, and Ukraine must have above 5% influence on all European member states. Okay, I have no idea how we're gonna do that, but that's gonna come in time. Demand for political support. One of the party leaders which opposes the new law put forward specific conditions that can change his opinion. This is a small price. Political support. Or he wants too much. Consider state interests. Okay, is this connected to the people's referendum? I'm not sure, but this is a seemingly harmless choice, and this is something that costs us a bit, but it gives us political support, and both leads to the same event. So, small price, I guess? For whatever law we're planning, let's get the political support. I'm not against it. So let me just have a sip of tea and continue in investigating what we can do here. Yeah, the stability is really not doing us any favors, especially with the production. The rampant corruption is something that we need to lower to. I mean, something like medium corruption would help with what, 20% boost in tax. Military output would be increased by 8%. Encryption would no longer be lowered. Counterintelligence would no longer be lowered. Yeah, corruption is bad. Who could have said so? Okay, let's see what our generals can get. Offensive doctrine. Organization was moving. Defensive doctrine. Charismatic. So, considering that we are almost isolationists, let's go with defensive doctrine. And next one, I'm going to give him recovery rate. How much are we gaining? 1 per day. It's actually pretty nice. Oh, we're getting extra army experience from partial draft and officer military school. Same with Navy and Air, though it's lowered a bit. Okay, I'm fine with that. So what can these generals get? Lieutenant General Sergei Drozdov, Fortress Buster and Scavenger. Lieutenant General Anatoly Shevchenko can get Panzer Expert, Combined Arms Expert. Lieutenant General Mikhailo Zabrodsky, Skirmisher Paratroopers. Okay, so this is a guy that should focus on special units or special forces, and you're getting Improvisation Expert. He's a ranger, okay, forest and guerrilla fighter. Okay, we have quite a lot of specialization here. I'm kind of interested in seeing, I'm kind of happy that they have such high command limits, which I think is good, but I'm not entirely sure how well we're going to be able to utilize it. Okay, the Airborne armored personnel carriers are coming up, which is good. What is the state interest? During a confidential meeting with a representative of one of the parties, we came to a mutually beneficial agreement that may affect the outcome of the future vote. This will affect the state interest, but the result is worth the candle. We will agree with this proposition. Okay, I'm not sure what kind of law they're speaking of, but it's advantageous pollution, but I'm willing to pay the political support for whatever the game decides to throw my way. I have a feeling it might go with the political referendum or the people's referendum. So I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna go. And we're burning through all of the political power that we're gaining just by spending it on that. Interesting. Well, our general can get the charismatic. I want the units to recover a bit more. Now let's focus on Army Group East. Oh, he's got an offensive doctrine already active. So it's good. We got one defensive guy and one offensive guy. I did that not on purpose, even though it might seem. But the recovery rate is always better than the reinforce rate, in my opinion. If you need 2% extra reinforce rate, you already lost. The charismatic is a much better choice by default. Okay, our deficit is increasing our debt. Looming bankruptcy check. Bankruptcy check. 296. Debt rate is 0. Okay, so we would need a rate of 296 and we're at 0. Okay, so even if it increased to tenfold, we are fine. It's just gonna start costing us money. Are we paying anything already? No, still 0 on debt. And the GDP is 0.74 billion from 6 million factories. Cool. That is fine. Now let's look at what our relations are. Bulgaria has the closest relations with us, really. That's kind of interesting to see. And we have a mutual border. No, we don't. Okay, that's leading to Romania. I thought this... Well, that would be stupid if this was part of Bulgaria. Damn. Alpha, learn your geography. Okay, and who do we have the worst relations with? Wait. Wait. Trade? No. Diplomacy here, okay. So the worst relations we have with Romania, okay. So two of our neighboring states, one is our best ally and one is our worst ally. That's great. Though the difference is minuscule. Minus 40 and plus 30, that's not a big deal. Okay, so the people's referendum. We get 150 political power, which we can use, and for some reason we cannot... Okay, our identity will unlock at 1st of June 2000. Okay, and the results will... Oh, 15th of March 2000. Okay, so in 4 days. So let's see how that's gonna go. We can wait for that. What is this? Dangerous pollution. The Green parties within Ukraine have started to voice their worries to the public. They speak in large forums in every oblast. Oblast is a governing part, basically an area or a region. They are saying our factories are some of the worst to work in Europe. The factories are relics of old and reckless expansionism. People are starting to call for the reduction and regulation of pollutants that our workers and climate are being exposed to. What do we decide? Well, reducing pollution is a great idea, though that lowers efficiency and political power. Okay. Well, we can still use the 112 that we have to increase the taxes, can't we? Okay, so let's boost the taxes by 2%, and that lowers the deficit by 50% nearly. Actually, 30%, but we are now down to 0.02 billion. Good. That tank, the popularity is dropping a bit, but I'm not sure if that was caused by me or what. The people have spoken, a day of victory, 16th of March. In a majority vote, the Ukrainian parliament approved the changes that the people demanded in the referendum. From this point on, all deputies lose inviolability, parliament becomes two-chamber, and the president strengthens his role as the head of the state. The government has now undergone a new change in its constitution. It is time to look forward as a country to decide if this was the best course of action for the people. Okay, so yeah, that's... the game did not actually explain it that well, but I understand. By spending that political power, we actually found support to push this. Okay, gets event, the Ukrainians people reform passes, and we can get the results now, which gives us constitutional changes, which grants political power and daily political power gain. Okay. Leonid Kuchma, the results. Okay, good. We passed pollution control program, neglect of state interests. Interesting. Okay, good. So we can't see what Russia is doing, right? Yeah, unknown focus. But we can see it, for example, for Germany. Utilize SPD influence in Lower Saxony. Czech is building roads. Okay. That looks like a generic tree. Build roads. East business reforms. Yeah, I don't see anything specific here. It's just the EU and yeah, the generic one. Okay, gotcha. What about Slovakia? International diplomacy. Holland is actually having its own tree. And a big one actually. Wojska Ladova. What is that? Polish Parliament, UPAF. Oh! That's not enough intel for current progress. So they're upgrading their armed force. Wojska means army. Yeah, they're getting some experience points for their army. Good. Good on them. So let's spend our command power on making our general charismatic, which puts him on a bit more effective place. Yeah, look at that. We're missing everything. And stability dropped to 23. I don't know why. Effects on current. There's no daily change. So I'm not sure what changed that. Maybe it was because we increased the taxes. But the popularity increased, so I guess the game is modeling that somehow behind the curtains. I'm not sure what's up. Debt increased to 23 billion though, but we are fine. Okay, so what are our political options? I haven't looked into that. We can improve relations or embargo. Okay, so we could start sending okay, 0.5. We could start improving relations with our neighboring nations. Okay, Russia has a massive debt, but it's actually in a positive number. Okay, Turkey is not. How about Czech Republic? I can speak of experience for that. Positive, 4.15 billion in debt. I can't comment on that much, but we'll see. We'll see. So one thing that I wanted to check was the infrastructure. Now we already spoke about what's the effect of infrastructure in this. Expanding provides state of improvement, increasing your supply power and division speed and raw extraction. I was expecting a bit more from there. Yeah, and it doesn't seem like we're gonna get much effect from it at all. Does it do? No, it doesn't give us any extra. Damn, and they cost how much? 12,500. Damn, the game is really pushing a lot. Riots! Oh great! Supporters for the Novorossian independent groups in the Donbass have started to protest all across the country. The riots are most fierce in the southern areas closer to Donbass region. How should we handle the riots? Well, we can break them, lowers our manpower by 1,000, lowers the chance of revolt by 1, lowers the stability of the regime by 5%. Changing popularity of the millennia, negotiate with them. Political power lowered by 100, raises stability of the regime by 3, and chances of revolt are lowered by 1%. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do, though that's gonna kill our ability to do anything in the long term. And I could cheat and increase the tax rate now, but I'm not gonna do that. We're just gonna play fair and square. Where's the... here. So we have chances of revolt 9%, stability of regime 18. So let's negotiate with them. So stability is now 21% and chances of revolt are 8. Good, though our political power dropped to minus 34. How's the war in Somalia doing? So we get Somalia, which is the... yeah, that's the proper ease of business reforms. Yeah, they got the generic tree as well. Then you got... what? This is Somalian National Alliance, and this is Jubaland. Mohammed Said Hersi Morgan. National Spirit, non-state actor, non-power. Military junta. These are the conservatives, and these are the reactionaries. Well, they're obviously trying to show their differences in a meaningful manner. And this is... Somalia was a mess and is a mess. There are another... wow, there's actually quite a lot of wars going on in Africa. There's the Congo... and this is... what? A rally for Congo's democracy and Congo Democratic Republic. And Congo Democratic Republic is fighting a lot of... damn, okay. They're fighting the Movement for the Liberation of Congo. They're fighting the... what is this one? Okay, Rwanda. Damn. Okay, so that's... and is Angola involved in this? No, that's a separate conflict. Angola is at war with UNITA. Damn, so many conflicts. União Naciones para a Independencia. Western Outlook, really. UNITA. A rentler state, non-power, non-state actor, Christian. Multi-ethnic state. Okay, and the last war that I saw here was raging between Guinea, Liberia, and this one. Armed Forces Revolutionary Council. There's Liberians United for Reconciliation and Democracy, fighting Guinea, Liberia. Damn. Okay. So that's 4 wars raging in Africa. And I don't know why I had the game paused this whole time. My apology for that. Okay, so Africa is a fun place to be. Oh wait, there's another one up here. Okay, so this is the Eritrea Ethiopia War. Yeah, I remember that one. Eritrean War on Ethiopia. So there's 5 wars right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Africa keeping busy. It's actually kind of interesting. I never really investigated it in much detail. But considering these guys don't have any factories or anything in their states, they get their equipment from the international market. There's a way here you can open the infantry tab or vehicle tab and buy tanks and stuff from other nations. So while this might not seem like a viable choice for most nations that are developed, like even Ukraine is, for these nations which fight it over, it is actually a pretty interesting option. Though I don't know where they get their finances from. If they get like events from pillaging or something like that. That sounds horrible, I know, but you know what I mean. International recognition, we can cause that as well. Cyber warfare we can close for now as well. Defense policies of the EU we can close as well. Joining the EU I'm going to keep up to be notified of. I don't need the European Union, though Europeanism is increasing, that's good. Stability within Ukraine we definitely need to keep up. Hey, we're back in positive. Ukrainian report on foreign influence. Yeah, Russia is increasing our... Actually, I think we're stable. They're battling over the influence. Influence on 468.488. I need to check this number later on. It's a bit... we don't need the economic decisions because those are pretty fine. You can see that they help with, stuff like improving the speed, but they all cost money, which we desperately don't have. Yeah, our debt is now already 24 billion. Ukrainian political decisions, propaganda campaigns, I will use those, but Ethiopia and Eritrea signed white peace. Okay. And I guess Eritrea got back its territory. Actually, when I played before, I was looking into, like, a year ago, when I started with Hearts of Iron 4, I was looking into Ethiopia, and they start without any factories. But they get really nice tree, where you got the abilities to, build stuff on your borders and, getting air experience and stuff like that. But frankly, I think they start with like one factory, maybe even zero, and they need to go and get the industrial build-ups. So it was kind of an interesting... You have to save your money and invest those in your economy if you want to get anywhere as Ethiopia. But then I guess it's the same situation for all of the surrounding nations. So if you do it correctly, Africa is your oyster. It's definitely one of the more interesting states to play. Russia is positioning some troops on our border. But we don't have to worry about that, do we? So, once we get the results, I'm going to end the episode and I'll see you in the next one. But I'm interested in seeing what this one will lead to. I don't think we have... So I guess we need our identity as well researched. Support us in the government. Yeah, I guess it's going to give us a choice between pro-Russian parties, pro-Ukraine parties, or national revisionism. We'll see. So, 4 more days. Actually, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to increase the taxes a bit more. Oh, the popularity of the government is increasing. No, it looks like the expenses also increased. Well, I'm doing better. I think that once we get to something like 22%, we might be okay. Not entirely sure on that, but... Okay, the results. The People's Referendum has officially concluded. It is now time to interpret our results and see how the Ukrainian people wish to proceed. The government is prepared to take the necessary measures to maintain peace. So we get extra political power every day. Daily political power cost is lowered, so 0.2 extra every day. 2.69, that's pretty good. So our identity. Let's see. Okay, and we're gonna deal with that in the next episode. I'm really interested in seeing how... Oh! Sudan and South Sudan are now fighting. Okay, I guess Africa is gonna provide ample entertainment for us. There's nothing raging anywhere else, right? The Chechenian war or conflict has been finished, so yeah, interesting. Anyway, see you in the next episode. I'm hoping to stabilize the economy by then. Even if we get to 0, I'm gonna be happy. I just don't want the debt to keep raking up. That's dangerous as hell.